tens of thousands of hate comments in a day when I haven't really done anything in a long time, and I've reflected and like apologized and kept to myself.
Dude, we dated last year. I finally dumped you after several months of you near constantly using me, gaslighting me, cheating on me.
Hey guys, what's up? Inksmith back again, and today we are covering someone I completely detest, and that is Social Repose. Social Repose, aka Richard McLean or Richie Geese, was born February 9, 1990, and is now age 31. He is an American electronic dance pop artist who founded the musical project known as Social Repose. He is also a vlogger. So far, he has released an album titled Yalta, which has featured one of his most famous singles, Island of Yours. He has also released an EP called Empress, which featured a trilogy of music videos including Villain, Empress, and Filthy Pride, and recently another album titled Calamity. Most of the music he released are covers. As far as his life is concerned, he was born in Cabin John, Maryland, and founded Social Repose in 2011 in Washington, D.C. He studied film and media arts at American University. He's posted covers, acapellas, vlogs, reactions, and music videos to YouTube. He dresses in a quote-unquote custom headdress and puts black acrylic paint on his neck for videos and tour. Social Repose's first and most early videos in 2011 showed simple things like a cappella covers of songs by 21 Pilots, and also him putting together not only music but music videos as well, and putting together his costume that he slowly formed over time. He started out actually with no makeup whatsoever at all, and slowly began to add little things onto his costume until he had an entire suit called Mother Moth. Mother Moth included his headdress, mechanical wings, which he paid over $2,000 to have made. Now, on top of this, he started to make his own songs, which slowly grew in popularity. His training in sound mixing had made them become quite clear, and they were also well loved by the alt YouTube scene, which was mostly due to alternative rock actually taking off around this time. A lot of people discuss him in the sense of when he betrayed Jaclyn Glenn, one of his past girlfriends, and we'll get into that, but first let's cover what led up to both of them meeting. Back when multi-channel networks existed, Social Repose was part of the Fullscreen network. That was during the time that Fullscreen suggested to him and Jaclyn Glenn to have a collab, as they shared a lot of the same subscribers. When they did so, their first video together was them eating the pages of a Bible, consuming each part of the paper, and this did not go over very well with some of his viewers, and later he actually deleted this video. What then led to them getting closer and closer was the fact that Jaclyn Glenn enjoyed her time with this collab partner who at first she thought might come across as kind of creepy. Little did she know, she already knew just what kind of person Social Repose was. Creepy. You see, as they were dating the whole time, Social Repose was actually on tour, and during the time he was on tour, he was constantly hooking up and seeing an ex-girlfriend that he had parted ways with in the past. Later, when Jaclyn Glenn found out about that, she made a statement which was not only heartbreaking, but a crushing blow to their relationship as they split ways. This is the following video response she had.
I'm sorry, I'm a mess. And I'm not probably gonna feel better for a long time. And I know I look like hell. That's fine, right? Richie was so willing to like put me in videos, and like I just felt like he was so proud to be with me, and I took that as such a compliment. But now, we are not together anymore. And there is this girl that he dated briefly, I think, a few years ago. He reconnected with her after his last relationship ended, and they stayed in touch. And a few months after we started dating, like officially started dating, he slept with her. And they stayed in touch throughout our entire relationship, the entire relationship. And on his most recent tour, the first date, it was, I think, New Jersey or New York. I don't know exactly where, okay? First date on the tour, she went to his show and he pulled her into a bathroom. For a quickie. I know this because I went through his phone and read his texts, and no, I don't feel sorry about it. Meanwhile, he's planning a week with this girl in December, like, but it started so early in our relationship that I'm now sitting here feeling like nothing was real. And he told me it didn't mean anything, and it would, this is not a mistake. This is not an accident. This is not something that happened once. This has been ongoing. Like, and I'm not even convinced it's only her. I'd actually be surprised if there weren't more. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't really want to talk about this anymore. I know that I had to address it, and I'm prepared for whatever backlash that I get.
Now, this was absolutely crushing to the viewers of both Jaclyn Glenn and Social Repose, many of which actually unsubscribed from his channel after this. What was even more devastating was that viewers found out Social Repose had a history of doing this. Sadly, his first girlfriend, who had spoken to Oni-san, had actually talked about this happening quite a bit in their relationship, where Social Repose was found cheating on her multiple times with multiple girls, in which he would ask if they were old enough to date yet or if they had a car. He would literally be sending them messages asking when they would turn 18 so that they could drive to come meet him. He would also try to hook up constantly while he was on tour, and this is what his first girlfriend found out. She was completely ignored due to the fact that Oni-san had become a pariah at the time, and not many people were watching his channel. But finally, she got her voice heard after the Jaclyn Glenn situation, and we got to see her response and what had happened to her.
I saw at least 20 conversations, and that's just what I could see from a quick scroll. At least 20 conversations with just these random girls on Facebook, of him messaging his fans to see if they had turned 18 yet, of him, like, seeing if these, like, really, really young girls, like, barely 18 could drive, if they were in his area. Anyway, so we broke up officially. Never got back together after that. That was at the end of July. At the end of July, we broke up. So if you hooked up with Social Repose anywhere between February to July 2016, that was my boyfriend. That's another thing, I guess. Whenever I did say anything publicly about any of the stuff that he had done, and I didn't even go into detail. I mean, this is the most detail anybody's ever gotten, and it's not even fucking detailed. I mean, shit. Anyway, he flipped out, and he sent me these long, awful messages about how he was gonna make me look so shitty on the internet and he was gonna tear me down, and he had the following to do it, and I wasn't gonna stand a chance because nobody gave a shit about me because he could make me look bad and they would listen to him and I had no feet to stand on. And you know what? Fuck it. I've got 2 feet and they work just fine.
As you can probably tell right now, Social Repose is a guy without a lot of morals going on. In fact, there's no self-reflection going on whatsoever, as this is something that continued to happen in his past over and over and continues on even now. The worst part of all of this was his response to these videos. His response was not only middling and unapologetic, but it also showed just what a megalomaniac he was and how self-obsessed he was, to the point that he had little to no care for the feelings of anyone else, even if they were the closest person, such as a fiance in his life. Luckily for Jaclyn Glenn, she is now happily married and with child, but Social Repose continues to dwell in his sadness. You can even see just how unapologetic and apathetic he is towards the situation in his very own video response to Jaclyn Glenn coming out about him cheating on her.
I just finished watching Jaclyn's video and all the brutal graphic details that she explained to everyone. So I'd like to give some very descriptive details of my own. Not to slander Jaclyn or anything, just to kind of, I guess, give you a deeper context on why I did what I did. I do deeply regret it. Everyone was incredibly devastated when they heard that we had broken up, because I did cheat on her, just like I did my ex-girlfriend. And she kind of took me on with the thought that she could fix me, and that, there's a lot of good parts that she saw in me, and I commend her for that. But at the same time, everyone did warn her, and I don't know. It just sucks that I proved them all right. I did. I always kind of felt this unbalance in the relationship even early on, which terrified me, and I could never bring it up to her. All the way, we dated for 11 months and I could never talk to her about it, just because I was so afraid, because she got so attached to me so quickly. She was just, it's almost like she just, after month 2 or 3, she was like ready to settle down with me and ready to get a house, and it just seemed so perfect, and I was like, what are you doing? What do you... And it's clearly I'm a careerist. I'm so deeply entrenched in Social Repose just as an entity that it comes first. It comes before all my love and relationships and even family to an extent. This is my life. I've chosen it, and I put my all into it. But I promise you I'll do better with my videos and my content, and it's always important to strive to just be better when you know that you fucked up, and you know that you've ruined somebody. And I can't take back what I did, but I can look in the future and prevent it from ever happening again.
Now, after this very public breakup, things went really bad for Social Repose over the next 2 years. He was pretty much held to the grindstone for over 2 years for what he had done to Jaclyn Glenn, as she was very much so beloved by the community and was completely wronged in this situation. He tried everything to get everybody to take his side, from making excuses that his career took over his life, and even making songs attempting to apologize to Jaclyn Glenn. Jaclyn Glenn responded to with her own songs countering what he had said, both humorously and actually garnering far more popularity with viewers watching both channels. She would get many times the views he would on his own songs. Over the next couple of years as well, he started to lose not only subscribers who would unsubscribe due to his constant cheating on everyone he was with, but also just for his unpopular opinion of saying that his career came first and anyone else in the love of his life came second. On top of that, YouTube started to be more stringent and erase old accounts that were no longer active on YouTube, which lowered his sub count and his viewer count even more. At this point, he's at 1 million subscribers and was getting only about 25,000 views per vid, which means he had dipped quite a bit, getting as low as only 2% of his subscribers actually watching his videos. To counteract this, the first thing Social Repose tried to do was first take a break from the internet, hoping that everybody's temper would cool and judgment would no longer be placed on him when he came back. For the next 2 years, though, people did not forget, and in fact, everyone held on to what he had done and held him accountable, which was great because Social Repose was not holding himself accountable. When he did come back, he tried to get himself reintegrated into the algorithm via drama that he started with FPS Diesel, Oni-san, and even going so far as to try and diss Jessie Page simply for her laugh. A very pathetic attempt at best. And of course, this never really led to much, and his channel continued to falter and become less and less popular. Finally, he was slowly being able to back away from what he had done to Jaclyn Glenn, rebuild himself just a little bit with some new songs and new videos, until once again he was outed for cheating on the third girl. This girl was known as Roy, and what saddens me the most about this situation is her voice even didn't get heard at all whatsoever when this actually happened. I will give credit to Repzilla, who did give her somewhat of a voice, but I feel like not a lot of people have seen this third breakup video where she has to finally come out and make her own commentary on just how despicable Social Repose is. Luckily, she did do this, I did save it, and I made sure to post it in this video right now.
My name is Roy, and I fucking suck at talking on camera, but since these comments have kept happening anytime someone talks about poor, bullied little Social Repose, despite the numerous tweets that I posted back in November, I decided I need to come here to YouTube to talk about a few things. Clear a few things up, I guess.
She starts off by showing a clip of him trying to lessen or make seem what he did wasn't that bad.
Tens of thousands of hate comments in a day when I haven't really done anything in a long time, and I reflected and apologized and kept to myself.
Dude, we dated last year. I finally dumped you after several months of you near constantly using me, gaslighting me, cheating. Less than 6 months ago. Just because the internet isn't holding you as accountable for what you did to me as for what you did to your previous exes who had platforms and channels and whatever else, doesn't mean it didn't fucking happen. I don't know how you're still trying to sweep what you did to me under the rug. You haven't been mentioning me by name or anything because you don't want, people to find me. But you're still trying to garner sympathy from your fan base because of how miserable and sad you are, but you don't want to address doing so directly? Make it make sense, dude. Make it... What? I don't believe that you have ever actually once been genuinely sorry for something fucked up that you've done.
At this point, it had been almost 3 years since the Jaclyn Glenn incident where he had cheated on her, and his viewers were actually slowly starting to trickle back to his channel. He was starting to get recognition as a creator once again and start to actually get people who were enjoying his content again, and maybe even starting to have a little bit of trust in him that maybe he had learned, maybe he had changed. But what this video showed everyone was that absolutely nothing had changed. We're dealing with a man now who's mid-30s and still acting like the teenager rock star on tour with his band. cheating on every single girl he's with. No one can trust him, including his fans. Today, his channel still stands at about 1 million subscribers, but his videos get counts of views as low as 9,000. To give you an idea of how bad that is, my channel with only 3,000 subscribers gets more than that on some of my popular videos. Having only 9,000 meant that he eventually got evicted from his home in California, where he had to then move to a place in Las Vegas, and then was eventually losing so much money and so much income from his channel on YouTube, he had to move a third time. His life, his financial, and standing in the YouTube community has dipped to an all-time low at this point. It is really only a matter of time before he probably takes a final break from YouTube, in which he will most likely not be coming back. What does the future hold for Social Repose? Well, I guess comparable to some of the other follow-up videos I've done in the past, he's not as bad as some of these people who were messaging little kids or sending unsolicited nudes to underage viewers. But I don't think there's many of us out there who trust anything this guy says anymore. You know, when you've got some of these young TikTok stars who are kind of love crazy and have puppy dog love relationships, we can kind of understand where they're fickle with what they're doing and who they love and who's their current boyfriend or girlfriend. But when you have a mid-30s man still dressing up like a giant moth and cheating on every girl like it's a high school relationship, you start to wonder, where does this guy's loyalty actually lie? If it doesn't even lie with the girls that he calls the lovers of his life, how can we as fans expect any sort of loyalty from Social Repose? Guys, I'd love to know what you think about Social Repose and his current situation with his YouTube channel falling into absolute obscurity. Is it well-deserved? Personally, I think so. The guy comes across as very disingenuous and despicable, to be honest, and I don't really have much hope for his future or his channel. Of course, there could always be some sort of intervention, or maybe he can change, but we're starting to almost get to his 40s and nothing has changed, so maybe once a cheater, always a cheater? Who knows? I guess we'll only find out as his channel starts to join the rest in my follow-up series. Until next time, I've been the Inksmith, and I'll talk to you again real soon.